What up?
What up, homie? How are you?
Doing good, man. Even better now that I can hear your voice. What's going on?
Chilling, dog. Are you back in LA?
Yeah, man, I just got back.
Let's go. Let's link up. I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, bro. I'm over here making music, vibing with the dog. Come and pull up on me.
All right, I'll pull up right now.
I think the when you can check in and press play again to that friendship, and then you could press pause and not see them. I think the value of that is so. There's a meaning of like how life and people are so united, but everything else separates us. Everything
Yeah.
wants us to be against each other. Almost like that individualism is like
Yeah, well,
the main American
I think we're
standard.
going through like because my time in Asia, I just got back from Asia. I was living there for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt this urge to go from ego to we go, like
Yeah.
more of like a family value system and a system that's more aligned with family being first in your relationships with your family, your mom, your dad, but also like your people that I call like maybe like a spirit family, like a soulful family, people that are like a part of your life that you're like, wow, you feel like a brother to me. Like that's how you feel with me. You know, you're J Riv, you know, I'm J Rapp. And it's like, what? Like I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and you're from
LA,
California.
yeah.
And like here we are like hanging out, vibing out. And we're like, oh, we see the same thing, but we come from like a different standpoint. And a lot of my like fascination with electricity right now and with just computers in general is that electricity has shown us there's a spiritual side to humanity that actually intersects with consciousness.
Yeah.
And people aren't really aware of that.
I've noticed that if you look at a lot of inventions and in technology, we mimic the earth. We
Yeah.
mimic things that we've seen from the earth.
Yeah.
And we try to even look at the flora and fauna and find ways to, like, there was a research study based off of the most functional way to create a subway system in Japan. And they used moss to find.
Or mycelium. I
Yeah.
just had the guy over who does that.
Exactly, to find like the most correct pathways or functional pathways to create a system
Yeah.
of subway or like even just transit.
No, she tells us everything. Mother Nature, you know,
Yeah.
she's got like a lot of like secrets and like super amazing gems for us to like establish and understand. Because we were talking about, you know, the state of LA right now, and like, you know, everyone's like, you know, how are we gonna bulldoze this? I'm like, no, 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 we're gonna grow on top of it. We're gonna glow on top of it.
Yeah.
It's not about like God didn't let us get to this point to then be like, all right, now just destroy everything.
Yeah.
It was like, no, we're gonna grow on top of it. That's what nature does.
Yeah, that
And
is
we're gonna
what
glow
nature
on top of it too, you know? It's uptown Los Angeles now.
Yeah.
Just one little subtle rebrand because it's not down anymore. We're going
know.
up. We're seriously going up.
It should be uptown.
Yeah, at UTLA, and that's what angels do. They go up.
Yeah.
But then like we're here at Grounded Showroom where everything is grounded, where it's like what are the physical matters?
Yeah.
You know, physical media like CDs, like where are they at? Where are the vinyls at? Things
Yeah.
that keep you grounded in the physical reality. Where's that book? So like, what I want to do is, and this is funny, I want to create a thing where we can take LA buildings and we can kind of, I don't want to say hack because that sounds like a negative connotation.
Yeah.
But be able to say messages inside of these buildings.
Yeah.
So say, hey, well, you know, like let's put a Rin symbol, which is the symbol for person, being a human. Put that here and have
Yeah.
that be here. And then I have a friend that can help me actually make that possible.
Yeah.
So, you know, you ever been like driving down like Los Angeles and you see like lights on, office building, like who's in there?
Yeah.
A lot of times it's no one.
Yeah.
What if we use those buildings as art to say a bigger message that is more of the unity and the pointing of up?
I forget what group. There was like a group of artists that would do light projections on walls in downtown.
Yeah, yeah, I know those guys.
Yeah, and I always thought that was so cool because I was like, yeah, we have all these empty spaces. Do a light projection. And then like I saw one of people just playing Super Smash Bros. And I was like, dude, this is so cool. Like you just
Yeah.
pointed the monitor outside of your
Or
window.
play like a rock band or like Guitar Hero
Yeah,
or something.
exactly.
But yeah, the idea is like, what are like fun kind of hacks and pranks that we can do that are more so trying to promote peace
Yeah.
and connection.
Exactly.
Or it's like, oh, did you see, or you there to see that building like be lit up like that or whatever?
Yeah.
Because right now it's just like a sad thing, you know? Oh, here you go. Yeah, fix it. But yeah, I'm just kind of like focused on like putting us all together through pranks and through these things that are like
Yeah.
actually lighthearted and childlike and
Yeah.
useful and truthful.
It's important to have like the eyes of a child when you look at life because being an adult can weather that mentality, you know, the fun idea of like wonder, just wonder in general gets taken away from you the older you get.
That's the thing too. Like, not to cut you off, but the this book here that I'm reading too, called Dark Light, I got this at the Alaska bookstore, but dark light, electricity and anxiety. So I think as you get older as an adult, anxiety becomes a thing.
Exactly.
Where you say, I'm excited because that's like excitement and anxiety are connected to one another. And
I think excitement is when you know, and anxiety is when you don't know.
Well, what I like to say is I'm energized. It's something that is energized is a part of me forever.
Exactly.
Like that's the vibe. And so electricity and anxiety from the telegraph, because at the end of the 1900s, we didn't even have electricity.
Yeah.
And then you look at the end of the 2000 or year 2000, everyone has electricity. How did that happen? This book explains how that happened and what was being promoted to people to have electricity in the home. And you think of electricity and then you think of city. You can see a correlation of electricity in cities.
Yeah.
Which is why it's called that, Electric City, And so, yeah, I've just been really looking into this because as you become an adult, you shouldn't fall victim to anxiety. You should stay in that childlike play, but it grows and matures. There's this book I really love called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. I also say Queen, Warrior, Magician, Lover. All women are queens, warriors, and magicians and lovers, but we all have that archetype within us. But when you're younger, you have a different stage of that.
Exactly.
They call it the high chair tyrant, when you're like sitting in the kitchen, give me food now. But like, a man can't be like that his whole life, He's got to be like, I'm gonna go make the food.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go supply the food. I'm gonna go be a part of the food, And so that's kind of the concept that we're putting together, and realizing we all have those archetypes within us, and you have like that within your body is amazing.
Growing up and being like growing up, how did you feel you were different? Did you feel like people didn't understand you? Did you feel misunderstood? Did you have to find friends, or did the friends find you, or how did J-Rap become J-Rap?
So my parents had me when they were really young. My mom found out she was pregnant with me on her 21st birthday, actually, which was like no drinking that night, but she found out she was pregnant with me on her 21st birthday, and I kind of had this. I've always been at like bars and like out and like parties since I was 0 years old. So I've always had a way with people where it's like my parents were just bringing me to whatever they were out doing. Is that a good thing for a child? That's up for anyone to interpret. I have just always been around different faces of adults that weren't my parents. So much so that I had like grandparents that weren't even my grandparents. I would say it was like my friends' parents that didn't have grandkids yet, that wanted to maybe go through the practice of just like having or giving unconditional love to a child that's not theirs. And so that was, I'm really thankful for all of those people that really like raised me.
Do you consider that like a family that you chose?
I think a family that chose me, and realizing that humanity is a family in a way. Like you're my brother, you're my sister, you have people that are like super, super close with you that you love. And sometimes they don't have to be connected to you through blood. And that's what America is so cool, is I have friends that are, African American, Asian American, Native American, like just, European American. But we all like feel like, oh, you like me, bro. Like you're very similar. Like there's like a oneness here. There's a sunness here. There's a glow here. And that's so beautiful.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think people are just naturally beautiful. You find it,
Big time.
You find the beauty. And then when you find like the hidden talents in them that they don't even know they have, and you tell them like, hey, like you're really good at this. Pursue it. And then they do. And you're like, whoa, like I told you. Like sometimes people need to get proofread.
Yeah, well, to answer your question too, is like that's how I was with technology, because I was born in 1997. So I got to experience physical reality before kind of the dawn of the internet being everywhere in everyone's pockets and all that. So I got to experience that, but then at the same time, I got to experience like kind of maturing with Apple, maturing with the operating systems that now kind of run stuff now. Like they I've traveled all around the world. Everyone has a phone. They might not have shoes, but they have a phone, and it's really interesting how much that is playing on our consciousness and our psychology and cyber psychology, which is a new term this guy John R. Suler came up with back in like the late 1990s. And I got to speak with him, and he sent me one of his books, Cyber Psychology, Humans Become Electric. And whether you agree with that happening or not, you want to go full on in nature mode, you're still electric actually. You've been electric before that. But now we have like a more polished understanding of that creativity and that kind of spiritual domain of what is electricity, what is magnetism, what is gravity. And I've just kind of learned that through like studying it, but being a player in the game, learning through action, playing PlayStation 2, playing Miniclip, playing Nintendo 64, playing, just different games and just playing around with the internet. What I really want to get back to, though, is getting people into that sacred time that you had on the computer in the early 2000s. There used to be a thing where you go in the computer room and you chill and you sit on the computer for an hour.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm gonna lock in, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna clock in, I'm gonna lock in, focus, I'm playing games, I'm learning, I'm like this.
Yeah.
Now you just have it on you all the time where it's just like you're kind of not locked in when you're on the computer, you're kind of locked
it's like,
out.
it's second nature now, it's like, we can't live without it. It has our information, it has our money, it has our well-being. Some people can't even like traverse the earth without a map.
Right.
And they need to use Google Maps just to find where a certain location is. I remember I met this girl and her dad made it very apparent to teach her how to read a map, to learn how to read a map, to know where north, south, east, and west is, because that will help you in life. And there's a lot of practical techniques that we used to teach each other, from hunting. Hunting is now, what is hunting now?
Yeah,
Looking
right.
for a job, an
Yeah,
interview,
right.
like the mental hunting.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? It's just, there's so many different evolutions in what we used to do that now are just like very like quicker, faster, cyber.
It's quicker, but I've been blessed to be a part of this new education revolution that's happening right now. And the education revolution is creating a space on technology that's curated with the help of artificial intelligence, which when people hear the word artificial, they think of something that's not of our nature. I say it's officially art.
Yeah.
Or we are art officially, we are beings of creation. We are beings of God's creation. So thus we should create and be here to create. And I want to kind of help people use the creation of technology and cyber psychology to say, okay, let me understand science and technology and literature and math, but then step away from the tablet, step away from that sacred space and chill out with one another and be here with one another and collaborate and create together and like create shared visions and shared dreams that we make together. And that's kind of the goal with what this new education system model is there shouldn't be a teacher that has to come into class every single day for years on years on years teaching the same thing. We're trying to say, okay, teacher, we're gonna grow on top of the concept of teacher and go back to glowing, which is being a guide. So these teachers are now seen as guides where they're emotionally mature adults teaching and sharing what it means to be a human as best as they can, but being aware that that's not all that there is, that they are still learning themselves. And life is a consistent learning. And we all share this school called Earth School. Yeah. And it's got a beautiful thing. And technology can be like, we dip our toe in it, but we don't have to swim in it for our entire life,
Yeah. In terms of these projects that you've done, where is one that you're like truly proud of, where you've seen yourself grow from that project? Like what really truly like tested you in your growth, in what you believe in, how you speak? Was there conflict that you had to like set aside your ego and you really be like, where am I here? Like where?
There's something that I'm working. The first thing that comes to mind is something I'm working on with my mom, and I highly suggest everyone works with their mom to some capacity. My mom's a hospice nurse, and she does stem cell research and different things like that at Vanderbilt Hospital. And me and her are kind of focusing on rebranding what we call death to be something more a little bit easier for people to accomplish, which is the second wind. So instead of feeling like it's life and death, it's life. And then life doesn't end, life is eternal. So you have a second wind. And to come to that conclusion and that understanding and that understanding was not easy. I've been with my grandmother before she experienced her second wind, my cousin who just passed into her second wind as well, who's younger than me. And that was really hard, just having to be with the concept of death and realize even though they're not here on the physical plane, my love for them will be here forever. Yeah. And so that was kind of my biggest breakthrough. And now me and my mom are working on a project together where we're helping people that are on hospice be able to be creative on their latter days and use technology to be able to create music, to create photo albums, to create mini docu-series about their life and stories that they want to share. And so that's something that I'm really trying to focus on with my mom and have her drive up with people, maybe bring a dog, these types of things. So that's the
Yeah.
first thing that comes to my mind. Is the thing that I'm working on with my mom, and
I think that's beautiful.
you know, it's big. It's a big task, but my mom has been showing me ever since I was a kid that I can be a light in people's lives, especially when things seem dim.
Yeah.
And going to hospitals with kids with like cystic fibrosis, lung conditions, and they can't even like, you know, get over 90 pounds, and they're 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
And they have lung problems, but you can still connect with them through music.
Always.
And connect with them through sports or watching sports, or, you know, just there's different things that you guys can share in culture that allow those dim moments to feel brighter be brighter.
It's funny that you brought that up. I don't know if I told you, but my little brother passed away when he was 18.
Wow.
And he passed away because of heart transplant surgery. And because the hospital is so sterile, he was able to get like a virus that was so foreign, so rare that there wasn't any time to heal him. And when he passed away, that was my first time, you know, spending a lot of time in the hospital and like really like learning how to like creatively like hang out. And then I realized that photo books were something that were so beautiful because it's something that you could both look at, it's not moving, and you could travel in there, travel to that. So when he passed, I decided to make photo books. And I call them Meet Me In, because I always said, when we get older, meet me in this place, meet me in that place.
Yeah. Or meet me inside. Inward,
Yeah,
you know? And he's meeting you inward, you know?
Yeah, and it was just one of those things where for a moment in my life, I was like, oh, like, this is my light. I'm gonna make photo books for children so they can like have a moment where they can just bond with somebody. And the, you know, creativity works in so many facets, right? In the technological world, in the art world, even in chess, you know, everywhere. Creativity is beautiful. When you find it, when you see it, and when you know you're a fundamental part of it, like you find your place in this realm.
No, it's beautiful, man. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that happened, man. I feel you, you know?
Yeah, it was a different life ago, though. It's, you know, I've grown from it. I learned, I learned to understand people and take time to listen.
But I love how you took your pain and made it a gain. I was just talking to my friend who's a painter. I was like, why do you call it painting? Like, you're not in pain anymore. You're a gainer now.
Yeah.
And so you took your pain and turned it into a gain for you, and turned it into, now he lives through you, through this thing that you shared together in that moment. That's
Exactly.
Like, that's beautiful, brother. Like, seriously.
It is beautiful. It's like, it's what life is, right? Everything comes to an end. And when it does,
Everything comes to a second wind now.
yeah. And this is where you say the second wind. This is like, that's so cool. It's like, that's a perspective that I didn't think about.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, oh, that's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
It's the second wind.
You know, and then breathing. So like that's something that I would love to share with you too. Whenever I do feel down, like you have a pharmacy in a hospital within your own body.
Yeah.
And so if you want to have like a moment of gratitude, you can do a gratitude sigh. So you can go, ah.
Yeah.
And that actually neurologically, like just doing that feeling, or just being grateful, like a loving sigh, like you miss your brother.
Yeah.
Ah. Like that like creates this like feeling of chills and like
And it's
air.
natural too.
Yeah, it's all wind.
Yeah.
But it's a second wind, or it's a
Yeah.
first wind, you know, or it's your 1 trillionth wind,
Yeah.
whatever it is for you. But to be able to say like, oh, make a harmony of it, where I'm gonna do a gratitude sigh, and then I'm gonna do a loving sigh, like, ah.
Even the word sigh, like the word sigh is such an interesting word.
Well, it's a psyche. It's a tapping into the psyche.
Yeah, right? Like
Yeah.
sigh, like psychological.
Psychological science.
Yeah.
You know, sigh in,
Yeah.
sigh in. You know.
Yeah.
Sigh
Yeah.
grin.
Yeah, but I think there needs to be more people that have these type of conversations and like really just like break down like how they feel in what they're doing.
Yeah.
And like I don't judge anyone or try not to, but I always try to listen and like take note. Like I didn't do a dossier on you or anything because I already know you. You know, you're my friend. But like I've been learning through these podcasts or through this wellness check that like it's important for me to know the person. And like this conversation we had, like, and we're having is it's so moving and it's fast and it's natural. I've had 2 other episodes where, you know, it takes time to wind the gears.
Yeah.
But it's every person's different.
Yeah.
And every person has a way to communicate.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's cool here. You know, I'm super into trains because my grandmother, like, you know, this is a speed train over here. It's like, because I live this like 24/7. You know, like, some friends are like getting mad at me, like, you don't know what it's like to have a 9 to 5. I'm like, I live my truth 24/7, and it's work, you know, it's work.
hard work.
Yeah, to be able to present myself like this just naturally, like it's not like something that just magically like boom. I'm not an actor here. You know, I'm a human being.
Yeah, a 9 to 5 is you getting reassurance that you're gonna get a paycheck and a steady one. Not having that is really like trying to break through society and say that I deserve financial freedom because I have a talent, I have a skill.
Yeah, and so does my friends and family, you know, and I don't want that to have a ceiling either.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to have all the dealings, but you know, no ceilings.
Yeah.
And so I've just been focusing on that, and yeah, it's funny. I was looking at my name, Rapp, that people call me, and it was like just rhythm and poetry plus peace.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, if that's the best thing I'm known for, that's beautiful, and it's an acronym for my name.
Exactly.
You know.
Did you make that shit up?
No, I mean, I guess I did.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like it's like, hey.
Just rhythm and poetry plus peace.
Yeah,
You know?
that's fucking dope.
Yeah, my last name is actually Rapp, like rhythm and poetry plus peace, and I have so many people before me, and that's been a big part of my journey in 2025 is connecting with my ancestral healing. A lot of like I had to cry. I've cried a lot this year.
Yeah.
Just I think like I stopped drinking a lot. I used to just drink so much alcohol and stuff, and I've stopped. Like I'll have like a beer maybe once a week or something like that with someone, maybe 2.
Yeah.
But I used to drink like almost every day.
Yeah.
And I realized like, what is it? Like I'm suppressing some sort of light within me. And it was like literally these actual tears that need to come out of like crying over people that were before me that aren't here anymore.
Yeah.
And there's this guy who was living in a Mayan village. He was from America, and he ended up living there. And he was talking about how when you cry, it's proof that you love someone.
Yeah.
Like it's proof that like it's a physical proof that like you loved that person and now they're not here anymore, and you are now creating them through your tears.
Yeah.
Creating their presence. Like that is like the one of the most beautiful things you could possibly do is love them so much that you cry when they're gone because you miss them.
Oh yeah.
But we in our Western society, it feels like it's not really like approved to like break down or be emotional. But how are you gonna get that stuff out? And
Well, I feel like I always say like man has the
Firmware updates.
and sometimes they can't update anymore. And some men older than us cannot bear to even show an emotion. And it's quite fitting to see historically how man was, portrayed as stoicism, don't talk back to me. I know it, I'm the leader, the captain. And now like most men are like, hey, like we have emotions. Like let's figure it out.
and people will say these days like, oh, I got motion. It's like, do you got emotion? Do you got we motion?
Yeah.
But like,
I know.
that's
You
really
got-
big.
what type of emotion, brother?
Yeah, and those things help you, and they actually have made my art better, I would
Yeah.
say, because those tears I could then easily put like a pen to paper now,
Yeah.
and speak to my grandmother because I processed that and cried so many times through loving her unconditionally, literally unconditionally, like that she's not here and I still love her. You know, my cousin's not here, but I still love her unconditionally.
Yeah.
And that was the same love that I felt she gave me as I was growing up.
Yeah.
And to be able to practice that still on a day-to-day basis and then feel these moments of joy of like, wow, this like feels like it's almost her spirit like living through this moment right now.
Yeah.
And that's so beautiful. Like that's
is.
incredible.
It is. It's extremely beautiful.
And her name's Grammy, and it's like in one of my songs I'm like talking about like I've been thinking about my Grammy and where she's gone. But people are probably gonna think like, oh, you're thinking about the trophy, like the Grammy.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, I'm talking about my Grammy that I've known
talking about
since my first day on life. Like she held me.
Yeah.
And I got to hold her hand and see her experience her second wind, and still be here with me.
Yeah.
Through this. And I think that's beautiful to be able to process that and not suppress it with alcohol or suppress it with things that I was suppressing for a really long time.
Yeah. I wonder, like, do you feel like you're always working on yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like there's something you need to work on that you've just been like really battling with about yourself?
I think I'm changing the idea of working to learning. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in this constant like exploration and learning experience here on the planet. And I want to just do more to learn and earn that learning through love and light and creation. And just constantly do that. It's like life is like a bicycle, you know. It's like you got to stay focused and meditate so you don't like get hit or hit someone.
Yep.
You know, but also you got to keep going.
You do got to keep going.
And keep glowing and keep, you know, rowing, you swim, do everything, you know, get through all this. And so I feel like I've more so just forgiving a lot of past mistakes that I've made.
Yeah.
That I feel like are a resemblance of me that aren't anymore.
Yeah.
And I literally just had in my spot in New York City, I had my mirror break. And it was like kind of a poetic moment where it was like, wow, my mirror just broke. And usually people see that as like it like crashed to the ground and exploded.
Holy shit.
And like, it was because I was playing music too loud or something, but I experienced that, and now I reflected on that, literally. I reflected on the crumbs all over the ground, the miracle, cool mirror, bro, stuff on the ground. And I just kind of, just working on who am I? That's really like just been the thing of, who am I, and figuring out who that is through my emotional releases, through my music and my art, and through the education system, and through spaces like this, Grounded Showroom, that I get to be a part of. Thanks to like Sam, Gregor, and Nolan, just to like really show me a space, show me a home that's creative and artistic and consistently flowing in a light direction. And really trying to focus on the light and not curse the darkness. That's really what I work towards and learn towards on a daily basis.
Yeah. That is beautiful.